Yeah, the Texas Porch, Texas Talk with a touch of sports. I am JP Heath. Welcome back to summer programming. Still here from time to time. We have not forgotten about you. And go back and hear our recaps of the NCAA Texas baseball things about sports. And said happy birthday to Josh, a couple of our recent episodes. You can also stay tuned for our head shaving episode. But today we break down a recent road trip. Some of the gang got together recently, had a barbecue meetup, and a quick little housekeeping thing, as they say. If you're audio only on this one, which we fully support, take note this one is a bit of a show and tell episode. So you can follow along on our YouTube page. I'm sure we'll put them up on the Texas Porch Facebook. And that's what we need to do. We need to post photos to Facebook. I guess other people have caught on to that. But joined now in no particular order, it is the corporate exec squeezing time in his busy lifestyle, the one and only Mitchell Y. Leathers McDeer. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, and I noted that it was no particular order, but I was first. So there you have it.
There is a method for the madness, and the one and the only state champion P. Diddy, former Mr. Texas, P. Diddy, Paul Dunham. Look at that.
Howdy, guys. Good to see you.
Howdy, howdy. That is very impressive. Go Jags, 6A state champs, not like wussy football where they have to break it up in divisions. Mitch, we have a state champion athletic trainer in our midst, one of our own, BFF lifer. I'm still thinking I didn't give this the just due in our text thread enough, but kudos, man. You're awesome.
I mean, I think we all knew when we graduated high school that Paul was going to have the most sports state championships in our adulthood. We knew that, right?
Of course.
Well, guys, there was never a chance I was going to pull it off on the field in any way, shape, or form, but behind the scenes was more my style. So I guess that's worked out for the teams that I happen to work with. So,
boy, has it.
Well, bit of a picture surprise for you there. I stole some pictures without your permission. Who are our comrades here? I guess we got.
Yeah, our other assistants, Kelsey Potts and Cody Insky, our head athletic trainer. So, and then you can see our students there that joined us all season. So they took care of the Jag varsity squad all year. So they've been working hard. Yeah, a little barbecue mixed in. So this is a tradition we carried on from 2014 when we won the 5A title. We had a little visit to the Salt Lick there in the same parking lot as the Dell Diamond, and so we went in and we had to keep that tradition going and fed them some good old Texas barbecue. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, since it is a barbecue exclusive episode, can start there. What we're comparing Cattleack BBQ up in, I guess we're saying Farmers Branch, Dallas, ubiquitous, just blanket there. But we're not necessarily measuring it against other notable barbecue chains, but at the same time, you got a lot of great barbecue places out there. How would you measure like Salt Lick going down through the years? It's been kind of one of the first ones, really, and you go back in this age of barbecue the last 15 years, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Salt Lick is very classic hill country Texas barbecue. Pit style. I think they use mesquite for the most part to smoke everything. We had a little bit of a limited selection. Just you're feeding a crowd of 41. You got to keep your options down a little bit, keep your price point where it belongs. But we had brisket and sausage, which was awesome, and all the sides, so good. I think I ended up with a couple of loaves of the bread that is probably my favorite part of it. I mean, you dip not beyond the meat, but everything on the side, you dip that bread in their sauce. It's like soup. I could eat it with a spoon, but came back with some sauce and some bread. So it was good, but it's really good. I mean, it was awesome. They did a good job.
I'd like to see that bill.
It was your tax dollars at work, all accounted for. But it was. We made it possible. They gave us a really good deal. Had an incredible waitress. JC was awesome. Took care of a whole bunch of thirsty, hungry boys. So Shout out to them.
All right, got a spot for Salt Lick on the Cattleack pod.
Yeah, this is it seems like an odd time to bring this up, but having places like Cattleack really put places like Salt Lick in their place, I think. I think of Salt Lick as amazing. Again, for those that don't know, I love food. I let Paul tell me what they're cooking with and the kind of the backstory, and we'll get to that in Cattleack in a second, but Cattleack BBQ puts a lot, and as the critics would probably back me up on this, Cattleack puts a lot to shame across the state. So I didn't mean that as forcefully a backhanded compliment as that sounded against Salt Lick, but yeah, Cattleack in a different class for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so I went up to the big Metro Mess, part of a Rangers road trip with the Faja, and Dad and I went. When the Seattle Mariners come to town, Dad and I have to go see the Mariners. It's just a bit, no, not really. But we splurged. We got the good tickets and had a super secret hotel room that we could just walk to and fro. And two's probably the limit, but living so much farther away from the big city of y'all now, got to make the road trips count. And it originally started with, okay, we've got to find a way to somehow get together, because I was like, I wanted it to be just me and my dad. Not that my dad would have cared or y'all would have cared, all of us going together, but just so worked out. This is what happened. And Mitch threw out, and maybe I'm just totally remembering this wrong, Mitch, but you threw out one place. And then when I looked at the map, I was like, well, that's so close to Cattleack. I was like, why don't we go the 15 extra minutes? Am I starting off on the right?
Yeah. I think I threw out some generic chain restaurants because we didn't know where else to go. I mean, we were considering smoke sessions in Roy City, but that's of course in my backyard, and that would have put you all across the Metroplex. So then we kind of went out to the Garland Mesquite area, and then you were like, oh hey, well let's make the extra trek over here.
Yeah. And Paul, you've been telling me about Cattleack BBQ forever and a day. And the unique thing about them is that these basically open 3 hours a week, I say sarcastically. And to give full good credit to them, pulled up their website. They haven't been around forever, but I mean, this is only the last 10, 15 years. But Todd David is the guy's name up in Farmers Branch. And you, not that you're besties with them, but you've been there, a handful of times. I don't know if it's your regular spot, but you've been there a number of times, right?
Yeah, I think this is like number 4, something like that. It's been pre-COVID I discovered them, and or finally took time to do it, kind of like we did on a random summer afternoon when I had time, and so went down and finally gave him a shot. But oh man, I'm just saying, everything was great. I mean, it was I got no complaints. I had the junior crew with me as well, and I know they were well impressed. They had all the different meats that we tried, ribs and turkey and brisket, and I had some sausage. They helped us clean the plate for sure. It was really, really good.
Yeah, here's the front of it. A bit of a creeper pic, as it was odd timing as Mitch is walking up with one of his daughters, and it looked like I was taking a picture of them walking up here. But that's the front of it. So it's basically, you're thinking North Dallas strip mall there out in the front. And you can see how the line starts and curls around there. Did you think I was just stalking you and just happy to see you, Mitch?
Exactly. I thought, yeah. I mean, because I arrived a couple of minutes after you guys, and I thought they're just documenting my journey here.
But maybe you already said it, Paul. Sorry, but the hours, it's only Thursday, Friday, Saturday for Cattleack.
Yeah, I think it's 10 to 2 or whatever they sell out on Thursdays and Fridays. First Saturday of the month. Most months they open up for a 9 a.m. They call it Punch and Pits in the back 40 there, where the pit room is, and you can meet Todd back there, and he'll give you a nice little morning beverage if you choose, and discuss process and temperatures and things like that. As he says it, you can't duplicate what I do. Not that I'm being cocky. It's just you don't have this pit in this location with this humidity, with this much fire, with this wood. He said, so I'll tell you almost anything you want to know as far as how we cook it. So it's pretty cool. He'll sit back there and ask lots of good questions. And the first time I went, it was really cool because he gave us some insight on we use post oak and blah blah blah. Well, I filed that away in the memory banks, I guess. And then a few minutes later, the line had formed by now, so it was on a normal busy Saturday morning. So we were all kind of standing there. He goes, all right, anybody got a trivia question? I'll put you at the front of the line. What wood do we use? So I went, post oak, so I got a little free pass to the front of the line and got to choose what I wanted from the menu before anybody else. So pretty cool.
And what does he cook? I mean, he cooks with just post oak. I know you just said that, but
yep,
doesn't switch it up at all. It's got to be, again, this is JP Barbecue Dummy for those watching. Why didn't you know that? Well, again, I just eat it. I don't know how to cook it.
Some people use a mix, but
what are the most common 5 woods that?
I think it'd be pecan, hickory. A lot of people use apple wood and things like that. Fruit wood. I've heard things like weird as peach and stuff like that in places where you have it's kind of about what do you have? I mean, what's nearby, what's local, and that's how it all started in various places. That's why things are different. You go to Georgia, they're cooking on something different than they do in West Texas. It's what they've got. When you've got a billion mesquite trees on your land and you can cut them down and cure the wood, that's what you're going to cook with because it's what you got.
But that's more West Texas, like you educated me in the line, right?
Yeah, I think so. Mesquite is used lots of places, but I think, it's basically where it grows. If you have to haul it in, that's going to hurt your profit, margin along the way. But I think the biggest thing is just what do you like? Post oak has kind of a mild. It doesn't just stab you in the back of the throat most of the time. It kind of has that little bit more mild. It cooks pretty even. I think post oak trees don't get giant, so you're not going to have super different shapes and sizes of woods, of pieces of wood if you're choosing it that way. So I think that's what makes it a little bit more commonly used. And it may be a little bit cheaper too. I'm not sure on the price, but very consistent heat, I think, from that wood.
So we got the pickup now and a picture, not as in a pickup truck, but the line curls around. I showed you the front one and it curled around. It was only about a 15-20 minute wait. And that guy behind you, Mitch, we cut him. That's the guy. He never said anything. It was kind of understood, I think, in barbecue waiting language. We're just cutting in here because we did that. So anyway, he was nice. He never,
I will say about this photo, and again, sorry for the audio listeners, but it's even funnier if you just pretend that hand behind Paul is Paul's hand.
Oh yeah, we didn't get Jasper in there.
He's got a little dinosaur arm.
Yeah, a little T-Rex action going there.
I managed to get the barbecue to my mouth either way, so it worked.
But what I loved, I should have taken more pictures. Paul, I was proud of you, Paul. You minimized your selfies there in that because I'm always making fun of you in your selfie game. But on the wall there, it's like you said at the very start, there's no secrets. I mean, Todd, like I know him on first basis, they pay tribute to all the great Texas barbecue cookers. And you can see part of it on the picture, how they have, I think that's by Tootsie, and they have the guy in Austin, I'm blanking under the hot lights here in the podcast studio. Yeah, Aaron Franklin. Yeah. So it's just really, really done up right in there. And as we get in there, you got more of the Texas decor, of course, there. And like most spots, it's got the menu there in chalk. And we got there pretty late. And that's all on this big Texan here. That's my fault because of the miles to go up the state's best interstate, by the way, I-45, which we'll talk about on another episode. So we get there. I'd say it was ended up being about 12:45 or 1. Waited in line about 15-20 minutes. No big deal at all. And they were out of a couple things, weren't they, Mitch? Didn't we experience that? But nothing that we wanted, really. Just the beef rib possibility.
Yeah, they had 2 or 3 outages, but forget what they were.
Yeah,
and
pastrami beef rib and burnt ends, I think was the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's when we got right up there.
And that's Todd there. He's the dude, right? I mean, that was Todd, right?
Correct. Yeah, on the left.
Yeah, he's cutting it. He did not remember Paul for some reason. He did not remember him.
We're not.
Hey, aren't you the trainer of the Jags coming up?
How many state championships you have now?
I was a little surprised at the distance they had between us and them, but I'm a guy that likes my personal space too. But it seemed like that was one of the things they welcomed from pandemic. Yeah, we kind of like not having people right on top of us. So that was trying to be neutral there. I didn't mind it. But then you just obviously go down the line, and I went with the Texas Trinity. Obviously a lot of different plates. If I was thinking ahead of time, I could attach the whole menu, but it was the perfect balance. And again, I defer to you, formerly Mr. Texas Paul, on the how they cook it and the little spices that go on there. I just know it tastes good. Me like put in belly. I'm always 12 years old, so I'm going to put macaroni and cheese is going to be any side for me. But the brisket, always get it moist and sliced, thanks to you educating me. And I was like, hey, what the heck? The sausage wasn't my favorite. It wasn't the best sausage I've ever had, but it was still really good if I can have it both ways. But I really liked the brisket, and then the rib and the sausage was a distant third, but it wasn't terrible. It was just a little rough in there, but I still really, really liked it. Am I too harsh in my critique there or not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I had not tried the spicy. I think it was called the spicy Texan, maybe sausage.
Yeah, it had the hatch chilies and the cheese in it.
Mm-hmm. So it was good, and we had. There's our neighbor's plate there on the left. That was an entire brisket, basically sliced up for that crew of 6 or 8 guys. Now we didn't stick around long enough to see how much of it was left, but I think they polished it off pretty well. Then that was my plate for myself and the crew. Man, potato salad, very, very heavy on the mustard. The hatch chili mac and cheese was great. We had turkey, which a little spicier than I remembered. I think I'd had it before. They tend to put a little more flavor in their rub. It's not just salt, pepper, garlic on most of their items. And then ribs. My kids are big rib kiddos, so they love the rib. That's it's always my favorite cut too. But man, it was just we were really happy, and what we didn't eat was polished off pretty quickly in the next go around, the next meal at the Dunham household. So we did not waste a scrap of that delicious Q.
And Mitch, you refused to send a picture to me, Mitch. But what was the Leathers party? What were y'all dining on? I guess meat.
So I also had Marley with me, and Marley got the brisket. So she got brisket with the I think she had the mac and cheese as well. I had the Todd Father, so I got the assortment sandwich. It had a little bit of everything in it. I think it had brisket, it had pulled pork, and then I think it had the sausage in it as well.
That bun looked amazing. You had that. You're bringing back memories to me. I remember wanting to go over there and just touch your buns there.
It was the sale. I mean, it was really good, phenomenal. Yeah. It was really, really good. Now, it did fall apart rather quickly. I didn't put it down fast enough because I was basically scraping it into my mouth at the end of the meal. But it was delish. And then we also had the street corn. So I had a little bit of street corn, which was good. Maybe a little too much of the sauce they put in it. So it's kind of more of a creamy sauce, but it was really good. The thing Paul said that I remembered was the thing I liked most about it, the whole meal, was that it had a little bit of spice to it. So the sausage was spicy, the mac and cheese was spicy, the corn was spicy, which I like. I really love the spice. And then I had a little bit of Marley's, just a plain brisket, and it was also a little bit spicy. So I don't know if that's in terms of people who love Texas barbecue, if spice is what does it, but it certainly does it for me. So it's good.
That's one thing.
Paul. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so I say it separates them a little bit from some of the other places that stick to the salt, pepper, garlic, kind of philosophy. But yeah, I'm a fan of more layers of flavor on everything. That's my jam. But sometimes don't fix stupid, right? But they've figured out a good way to add in some spice that doesn't overpower the meat in my mind. The turkey was a little spicy for the kids, but they still ate it. They scraped off a little and still ate it, and it was really good left over too. So.
Yeah, you've educated me on the turkey as well. I'm not. I don't know. I have a weird opinion. Like, why are you going to a barbecue place and getting turkey? Like you go to turkey, you get them to slice it up at the store. Okay, but you're holding my hand generously and not chastising me. But I think I'm going to come around to your turkey ways at the barbecue spot, because I don't know if it was you or some other BFF that I did an episode with that let me have some of his turkey, but I really liked it. And so I think I might eventually get to that turkey purchase. Weird brag, but
it's good stuff.
All right, guys.
Hey, you know what? So I assume that wherever we go to eat barbecue, we'll have a little review show.
Yep.
Maybe we could end up with a little rating here and see who comes out on top at the end of the day.
I like it.
Like so many still friends, or like the Tiger, so many Tiger awards, or so many.
I don't know, just a little barbecue, little TTP barbecue challenge. And what's the TTP rating?
Yeah, I'm for it. I think, again, recency bias and hearing what Paul told me going in, and I kind of remember what he told me, that with I guess they do it every other year, the Texas monthly ratings. It was what, number 2, number 3 he did?
High level. I forget numbers, but yeah, I think Snows was 1 and Cattleack was 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, in my untrained meat palate, I just like eating it. I don't know if I could discern between number 2 and number 30, but I know some of the things I don't like, and I know parts like I was trying not to be passive aggressive. I didn't like their sausage as much at Cattleack, but the other stuff was beyond amazing. But I don't know if I could really discern too much about it. But all right, gents, one of us has a big corporate exec meeting to get to, but we also need to find a way to get outside of the DF dub. If we're going to have a true representation of our state, we got to do that too. But there are a few other barbecue spots I think that we could find.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a few. I'm for that. I endorse that.
All right, gents, oh, there he is. He's logging on to his meeting right now. All right, fellas.
Good to see you, boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is our review of Cattleack BBQ. I rate it 5 thumbs up in our new Texas porch rating system. 5 rocking chairs with thumbs up. I don't know, some other rating system. That's Mitch. That's Paul. State champion Paul Dunham. I tried to coordinate all my graphics, but it's a whirling dervish. He's got the gold. Now 2-time state champion, the one and only P. Diddy Paul Dunham. All right, guys. See you soon.
Adios.
That's Paul. That's Mitch. I'm JP. Appreciate you tuning in. Stay tuned. Coming up more. This is the Texas Porch.
Go Jags.